Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. Today's story is one of the sweetest, most cutest, most heartwarming stories that you will ever find on the internet. I really enjoy putting these stories in every now and then. There isn't a lot of drama going on, but it's just so sweet and it makes my heart so happy. I do hope that you enjoy it, and I do hope that you give it some time because it'll honestly make your day a little bit better. If you do enjoy the story, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a thumbs up. And before I move on to the story, I just wanted to take a second and thank all of my subscribers. Thank you so much, you guys are so wonderful. For those that are new, if you do like my content and would like to support me, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. Anyways, thank you so much for your time, and on to the story. My husband made me believe soulmates aren't real. I'm using a different account so that my husband doesn't know. Before meeting my current husband, I was married to my ex, Dave. Dave and I met when we were 5 years old. He moved into our neighborhood when he was 5. He was this cute boy next door. We became inseparable. Even our parents joked that when we would become adults, we would be married. Ever since I knew the concept of marriage, I was determined that I would marry Dave. We were like soulmates. We had the same interests, hobbies, and similar thoughts. He was my first everything, my first kiss, my first boyfriend. Among our friends, we were the perfect couple. After graduating high school, we immediately got married. I got into a good school, but I decided to study with Dave. We got married right after we finished high school. Our parents helped us find an apartment closer to our school. We worked hard. We would often talk about having kids. On our 6th anniversary, we decided that we would try for a baby next year. I still remember the day when we were teenagers and cuddling. We had already decided what our baby's name would be. During our 7th year of marriage, my mom got sick, so I had to stay with her for a while. I was planning to do something special for our 7th anniversary, so I left early to surprise him. I went to my bedroom, and there I saw my husband sleeping with another girl in our marital bed. I can never get that image out of my head. My husband saw me, and his face turned pale. I don't know what happened, but I threw up right on the spot. My husband gave me the usual excuses. It's not what it looks like. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. I locked myself in the bathroom. I somehow mustered my strength and called my friend to pick me up and just not listen to Dave. When my friend arrived, she charged at Dave. She grabbed some of my things and we left. I was in a catatonic stage at that point. Eventually, my parents knew and they supported whatever decision I would make. Dave's parents, however, wanted us to be together. There was a huge fight, but eventually we settled for divorce. My whole fairy tale fantasy just shattered. I was spiraling into depression. My parents booked me therapy, and for 2 years, I was like a living corpse. After that, my friend pushed me to go on a date. I did, but no one ever came close to Dave. I was searching for Dave in every guy, but they all failed to live up to the expectation. This is when I met my now husband, Jay. Jay was the opposite of Dave. Dave was funny and would be the life of the party. I remember one time he made me laugh so hard that I fell from my chair. But Jay was not funny like Dave. He would use humor only as a clapback or to insult someone. He was also very stoic and closed off, pretty boring to my taste. On our first date, I asked him some questions like what his favorite movie was. He told me he doesn't watch movies. He likes reading. He didn't even ask me anything, except about my educational background. He talked mostly about my field of work, but he wasn't interested in me. We ate dinner in silence. I was 100% sure that he would not call me, but 2 days later he did. He asked me out on a second date. I was skeptical about whether or not I should go, but my friend insisted. I gave it another try. The second date went slightly better than the first. He talked a bit more and asked a few questions. We were taking it slow. He was opening up until the 6th date when we finally hooked up. TMI, it was amazing. I'm someone who has a snack right after sleeping with someone. I was craving something, so I asked him if I could go grab something from his pantry. Even a bread and cheese sandwich would do. He told me to stay there and he went out. I was kind of confused. He came back after 20 minutes with takeout food, something I really liked, orange chicken. I asked how he knew and he told me, "You told me on our previous date." I melted right there. Dave and I had been together for most of my life, but he never made the effort to go out and get me something. That's when I knew that even if Jay was not my soulmate, I was madly in love with him. We dated for 3 years and got married. I came to know about Jay's family too. His mom and dad were addicts who died of an overdose. He was homeless for a while but worked his way up. Throughout our marriage, I've been very, very happy. He was different from Dave because whenever he saw me doing chores, he would ask, "Need help?" He helped me through my trauma from Dave by arranging a therapist that specializes in infidelity. He may not be a person of words, but his actions tell me that he loves me. When I was pregnant with our daughter, I would wake him up in the middle of the night to either get me food or rub my feet, and he would say, "Yes, ma'am," and get to work. I love him. Even after 15 years of marriage, my love has not stopped. He's still the stoic man I fell in love with. After meeting him, I stopped believing in the concept of soulmates. He was not mine, but we somehow made it work. I love you, Jay. Thanks for being there in my life. And for anyone who's wondering what happened to Dave, he's getting his 3rd divorce. His mom blames me for his downfall, but she refuses to see that her son cheated on every marriage. One Redditor said, "Who knows, maybe Jay is your soulmate. He seems to be more ideally suited to you from the beginning than Dave ever was." To which OP replied, "From the outside, we do not look like soulmates. Dave and I were the typical girl next door and boy next door kind of people. Jay was more closed off. Initially, when I was dating him, he was a little rude in my opinion. He also has a bad temper towards people who screw up. But other than that, he's good and kind. He helps those who genuinely need help." Another Redditor said, "After reading this, all I can say is F Dave, metaphorically, and F J, literally, in several positions, then have a nice dessert. I'm glad to hear that you're happy. I hope you, Jay, and your kids have many, many more happy years ahead of you." To which OP replied, "I've been doing that for 18 years, and he still gets me a snack." Another Redditor said with regards to OP saying that Dave's mom blames her for his downfall, the Redditor said, "Because it can't be the fault of her effing child being an immoral, faulty human being, could it? I'm poly. I have a different attitude towards sleeping around on a relationship, but promises are promises regardless. Commitment is a commitment no matter what flavor, and Dave is clearly emotionally incomplete. I never believed in soulmates, from childhood, but you know when it works. When it's right, you just had to have a trial marriage to refine your definition." To which OP replied, "According to his mom, he was devastated when I wanted a divorce. She tried to convince me to stay with him even after knowing he cheated. She was angry at me and my parents when I said no. She blames me because she thinks that if I had stayed, her son would not have become a serial cheater because I could fix him. His other marriages failed because he was a mess because of me, not because he was effing other people on the side." Another Redditor said, "Dave was never your soulmate. Jay was. It just took some time to find him." To which OP replied, "When I asked Jay if he believes in soulmates, he told me, 'I don't believe in that crap. It's just like horoscopes. People believe in it because it makes them feel better. A lot of potential good relationships get broken because of this.'" I was kind of devastated that he doesn't believe in soulmates. Can you believe that in these 18 years, we have only said "I love you" only 5 times as far as I can count? I want to say it more. I said "I love you" to my husband after 5 years. My husband, a 47-year-old male, and I, a 46-year-old female, have been together for 18 years and married for 15. My husband is not the type to always show his feelings. He's very stoic, smiles on very few occasions, and maintains a routine. Some even say that he's a robot, but I don't think so. I'm someone who is very outgoing and completely the opposite of him. Before I was married to him, I was married to someone else who cheated on me. I used to say I love you a lot in my first marriage, but after my divorce, I had some sort of aversion to those words. Over the last 18 years, we've said I love you only 5 times. The first time was when we were dating, the second was on our wedding day, the third and fourth were when our daughter and son were born, and the fifth was 5 years ago on Christmas when we were really tipsy because of drinks. I wrote a post about how I met him and how we got together, but it made me realize that we haven't said I love you to each other for a long time. But it doesn't bother me. Even if he's never said it, he always shows that he loves me in his actions. He does chores for me, gives me foot massages, makes me my favorite dish, and even kisses me out of the blue. I do not have any complaints. He's the best husband anyone could ask for. But this was something that has been in the back of my mind for a while. We cuddle, we hang out, we make love, but still no I love yous. I would love to hear it and say it more often, but somehow it just makes me nervous. I decided to buckle up and say it. It's just 3 words. So yesterday when he was reading a book on the couch, I stood in front of him and I said, I love you. He looked at me and was confused. I repeated it. For the first time, I could see him get flustered. He told me, okay. I was a little disappointed by his response. I thought that he just didn't love me anymore. Later that night when I was lying down, he came to our bedroom and told me that he was sorry for his response, that it caught him off guard. He told me that he loves me a lot and not even a day goes by that he doesn't feel lucky to have me in his life. I was tearing up. That was better than any confession. I asked him why we don't say that often. He told me that he doesn't say it because throughout his entire life, no one has said it to him except for me. His parents were addicts who cared less for him. He had to start working since he was 14. He grew up in hardship, so saying I love you was weird to him. But also he feels like we don't have to tell each other when we express it with our actions way more. I told him I want to say it more now and want him to say it back if that's okay with him. I saw him smile for a while and he said that it's fine as long as I want it. I don't think that we need to say it when we know we love each other a lot. We'll probably stop saying it after a few days and go back to our mundane events. So guys, what did you think about this? I will say that I really needed this after the week that I've been having. It was so cute and so sweet and I'm so happy and it just fills my heart with so much joy. I would really be interested in knowing what you guys think. And also, I think you'd be really interested in knowing how you guys express your affection. I personally feel like I'm pretty affectionate. I really do enjoy cuddles and saying I love you. But that really depends on the context, and the dynamics that I have in all of my relationships, whether they're platonic or not. That being said, I actually take that back because I'm actually pretty reserved when it comes to most people, even people that I'm close to. But when I do open up, I do enjoy the concept of cuddles and I love yous, etc, etc. I think it just personally takes me going past that certain point where I'm comfortable enough to do this, Everyone's a little different and I'd love to hear what you guys think. Anyways, I thought that this would be a really nice mind cleanse after all of the dark stories that we've had. I do hope that you enjoy this story. If you do, please leave a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.